This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the regular session meeting of the school committee here in Easthampton. This meeting will be recorded and will be posted to YouTube and other social media platforms. By participating in this meeting, you understand that the recording could contain your video stream or your audio stream, including images of yourself or anyone in the room with you. If you choose to enable your video or audio device during the meeting, as well as anything or anyone else that may be in the background, could be recorded. The recording could include any opinions you contribute and anything you say about yourself. On occasion, chat within the meeting could also be captured in the meeting recording. Therefore, anyone attending the recorded meeting may have aspects of their personal data recorded if they actively participate or not. I'm just going to say that's the first and last time I'm going to read that out loud, so consider yourselves warned. We are going to call in Mayor Salem Derby will not be joining us tonight. Bonnie Atkins.
Present.
Eric Gayette.
Here.
Megan Harvey.
Here.
Sam Hunter.
Here.
Linda Markey.
Here.
And Chair Laura Scott present. Okay. We're going to start with the consent agenda for finance. I will entertain a motion to approve both items listed in the finance consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Sam. Can I get a second?
Second. Thank
you, Linda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Thank you, Eric. The finance consent agenda has passed. Eric?
I will entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable authorization for payment dated January 22nd, 2020.
That's finance.
My bad.
And we got that. We're good.
You did, because you did them all together. That's what
That's right.
Fair.
And so I would suggest for these others,
to
let's
this
do
part.
these as,
So
we'll
I
do the
all these
minutes.
individuals?
We'll do the minutes as
Okay.
one motion, and let's do a separate motion for we people.
Okay.
Okay.
I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes on January 17th, 2026 for the MASC retreat, as well as the January 27th, 2026 minute meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Sam.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Linda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to approve the minutes passes. Go ahead, Eric.
I will entertain a motion to approve the annual out-of-state field trip request from EHS for the We the People team to travel to compete in another national finals in Washington, D.C., April 16th, 2026 through April 20th, 2026.
Would you like to tell the people this
After
is
another championship.
how many in a row now? Nine.
Nine.
Numero nuevo.
Nine
Well
times.
done, everybody.
Congratulations to the team.
It's like you expect it, which is not, shouldn't be that way, but you do.
They're just.
So,
So moved.
Thank you, Sam. Can we get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Linda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Best of
exciting.
luck to our
Very
brilliant, fantastic, incredible students and all of their hard work. It is truly impressive, and we are incredibly proud. We are.
Chair, I have a question for you.
Of course.
So last year, those students were able to come and talk a little bit about their
Yes.
experience. Can we do that again this
We
year?
did speak to Kelly Brown. They are kicking off their fundraising campaign right now. Kelly demurred and would love to bring them in either right before or right after
We can
their
do
trip
after.
to nationals.
Yeah.
So we will be hearing from them
Great.
likely.
I just love to hear from them.
Yep.
They didn't come
in the
last
spring.
year.
Yeah.
I just want to point that out. They did not come last year. It was 2 years
We will
ago.
not make
Oh,
that
really?
mistake again.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna move on to announcements, and the first
There you go.
would be our gifts.
yes, gifts. The Kev's Foundation donated an AED and AED box to be attached outside of the snack shack at Mountain View School. The Kev's Foundation Incorporated is an organization whose mission is to educate and help prevent sudden cardiac arrest in children and young adults. The organization was created in loving memory of Kevin J. Major.
Eric, could I ask you, what does AED stand for?
That's not fair. That was not nice.
I will
Defibrillator.
entertain a motion to accept the AED and AED box donation from Kev's Foundation. Can I have
So moved.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Sam. Can we get a
much.
second?
Thank you so much.
Second.
Linda, thank you. It's a defibrillator. The A and the E are a mystery to me. I would guess automated electrical or something, but we don't know for sure. They are defibrillators. These are portable,
Okay, thank you.
external. Oh, as opposed to the paddles you put right on the heart in the pit. Yes. We're always learning, folks. Always learn. I told you I was punchy tonight. I've had
All
a
in
lot of
favor?
caffeine. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. That's wonderful. Those are great.
Yeah,
Can't have too
thank
many.
you. Thank you, Cavs Foundation.
We have
In
another gift?
addition, the Chartwell's Food Service of Easthampton Public Schools is pleased to announce the offer of a monetary donation in the amount of $6,955.30 to the intention of eliminating all student lunch debt accrued prior to providing the free meals to all students in Massachusetts.
So moved.
Thank you, Sam. Can we get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Linda. I have a quick question. So this funding is coming from Chartwell's?
Correct.
Wow. Okay, because we had discussed as a district wanting to
Do this.
clear those balances, and Chartwell's, the company who provides our lunch and breakfast service, is doing it themselves.
Absolutely.
Wow,
That is,
remarkable.
That's pretty neat.
That's awesome.
when I read that, I thought that was very impressive.
Agreed.
Please thank them for us.
And we would love to have them back at some point this calendar year too. We haven't heard from them in a while, but we would love to hear the latest about what's going on in food service and what our offerings are, because we know there's some variety throughout the different grade levels, and we get a lot of questions about that.
Yeah,
And
you'll wanna
we haven't
ask
seen our
about
buddies
that,
at
won't
Chartwell's
you?
in a while.
Those food choices.
So we had okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries, and thank you so much, Chartwell's. How are we doing?
Ready?
Cecily's done. Okay, great. We are now going to hear from our student representative this evening. Hello, Jess. Welcome. Thank you for joining
Hello.
us.
Okay, so the polar plunge. The polar plunge for helping raise money for the Special Olympics. It is this Thursday. Registration starts at 2:30, and the plunge starts at 3:45. That's what it says on the website, but I was told 3. So one of those 2 dates, I'm guessing it's 3:45. Currently, in terms of fundraising, we are at $12,000.
Wait,
Nice.
so weren't you aiming to beat a certain rival school? Greenfield. Looking at you,
We're
Greenfield.
1K away.
They're at 13.
1K away. So
1K away.
we need to
Wow.
we need to really get into our last fundraising push. So of course we're still accepting donations. Parking will be available on site. If you're under 18, you will need to have a waiver that is signed by a parent or guardian. You can do that there or bring one in. And then currently the top donors are the for the team donations is Special Education Department at $3,000. And then the top 3 individual fundraisers are Samantha Brown at $825, Cole Fitzgibbon at $760, and Megan Smith at $730.
Incredible.
That's awesome.
That's incredible. Way to go.
Yeah.
I want to fact check, but I want to say Greenfield is 3 to 4 times the size, their school district. So let's punch above our weight, folks, and set that bar even higher. We can kick out $1,000 in a couple of days.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's been insane the amount of money we've been fundraising.
Perfect.
Great.
And then we have a kids' night out on the 27th of this month. That's about it.
And what time does kids' night out? What time can we drop our children off?
6.
And what time do we have to come back and get them?
9.
9 p.m. 6 to 9 p.m. Everybody.
Run, run, run. 3 hours of fun.
Mm-hmm. Free.
No.
What's it cost?
That's the whole.
What is the cost?
25?
I think it's 25.
Okay.
I think it's
25.
usually 20 or 25.
Yeah.
25 sounds right.
Something around that.
And then
And
kids
that
bring a little
money
baby
goes
down.
toward
No.
Us.
the school, Easthampton High School, and
Yes.
student activities. Excellent. We scratch your back, you scratch ours. That's a great deal. Anything else, Jess? Henry, from Mountain View. What's going on at Mountain View?
So, yesterday, February 9th, the whole middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, went to Lenox to see the Shakespeare play Hamlet by Shakespeare and Company, and it was great.
That's awesome.
It was a great time, and
Did they talk to the skull? Or did they cut that scene?
Hamlet did a little.
Right.
There were 6 actors, and they all played like different roles, and it was great. And then Thursday last week, February 5th, the 8th grade went to the high school and got a tour. And I went to that. It was great.
Did you go?
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing about the high school?
All the different classes and how there's the ABC day and then the Bad C day.
Fancy day.
And
Did you check out their expanded lunch offerings? That was a big sell for my kids.
it seemed great, and I can't wait to go. And I think a lot of people enjoyed it.
Cool.
And then this week at Mountain View is Spirit Week. Yesterday was Cozy Day.
Good timing.
And then today was Dressed as Your Favorite Celebrity.
Oh my.
And I don't know what the rest of the week is. I only know.
That's a great
Hunter's Day of
update.
school
Did
tomorrow.
you dress as your favorite celebrity?
Myself.
Touche.
School committee. School committee member.
And then next week is February break.
Yes.
And
That's it.
Awesome.
Excellent work.
That's
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Public comment. If anyone joining us in person or remotely via Google Meets have thoughts to share, now would be the time. We're going to give that just a second. Seeing none, we are going to close public comment and move on to our superintendent update. Dr. Balch.
Great. First, we're going to invite Judy Averill to talk about a little bit about Kindness Week and present our video.
Awesome.
Judy, just here to make me cry. Thank you so much.
Good to friends. So you were looking at Ryan Nash, who is an amazing school adjustment counselor. She's our pre-K to 2 school adjustment counselor, and along with Spirit Week, it's also Kindness Week. So she has been going into classrooms and working with students and getting everybody excited about doing kind deeds for each other.
Aw.
So she is wonderful, and we're very lucky to have her.
Did they do that this week because of the Valentine's?
Yes.
That's wonderful. That's great.
My name is Miss Nash. I'm the school adjustment counselor for grades pre-K to 2. Every year we do a kindness week challenge, and this year we are doing some kindness hearts. Each classroom had a prompt on the heart, and their classrooms worked really hard on filling it all out, so check them out. Ask someone about their day.
Help the environment and classroom materials.
Help someone without being asked.
Try to make someone laugh. Smile at 5 people. 8 compliments. Right. Ask someone to help and play with you. These are 3 kind things. Say hi to a new person. Tell your friends something kind. Draw a picture for someone. Write a kind note.
God, it's like music and little sweet babies.
That's really sweet. Thank you for bringing us that video.
I love the read your heart out.
I love the kids telling us what they wrote.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing
Thank
that.
you.
And thank you to the entire MBS community for making that happen.
And to be, kindergarten, first and second grade and getting on a video and sharing with us, big props to those
Yeah.
kiddos.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
have grown colleagues who wouldn't do that, so.
That's right. We needed that.
Yeah.
Like I needed that.
Yeah.
100%.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, on to the superintendent's committee or school superintendent's committee report. You'll see Julianne here to do a CKLA presentation. She'll be talking a little bit about our data and reviewing some mid-year benchmark assessment data. My second goal here, related to my second goal about just sort of the entry process and what that looks like, we're launching two really important things this week. The first one is the launch of our strategic planning committee. That's happening. This is just sort of a rough draft of what it looks like. We're looking for 20 people. Sort of a representation. We're looking for people from the community, parents, caregivers. We're looking for principals, leaders, teachers to join us in the strategic planning process. And it's a little bit of a time commitment, but we're going to be putting out the all call for that to happen. And if we have more applicants than we have seats, we're going to be doing a lottery. We'll film our lottery process and publish that. So we really want it to be a transparent process. We're excited to launch this. It's really going to be about planning for the next 3 to 5 years. What are our priorities? What is our roadmap? It's going to be really important that we are, not just leaning into our core values, but our actions. What are the things that we're going to be doing every single year, very concretely, to move the needle and to really get to live, breathe our core values. So I think I'm really excited to do this work. We are able to get some support from our partners at Great School Partnership. They graciously agreed to work with us on this project. So I'm really, really happy about that and grateful for their partnership on that. And the second thing we're doing is we're launching our caregiver survey. Another really important way to get feedback from our families to help not only decide what we're going to do over the next 3 to 5 years, but to make improvements. So it's just one more aspect. Not everybody was able to come to the listening sessions. And, maybe there's other things that they need to tell us about. So it's anonymous. It's really important. Please encourage your friends, your family members to fill it out. It is going to be a really important data piece. We're going to be doing this every single year. So this first year is baseline. What do we need to do? How can we get better? And our strategic plan will hopefully be the roadmap to getting us there. So,
Michelle, can I ask you, when you say we're going to do this every year, do you think this is the time of year you expect to be rolling out that survey, or you're not sure yet?
no, so I think, this again is, sort of a baseline. I would like to do it in November, late October, early November. So if there are changes that we can make during the school year, so we're not always constantly looking in arrears, right? Because the change that we, might do now, might not impact the right kiddos in the right grades. So we definitely want to be sure that we can have, we can make some decisions sort of in the moment as well. So the survey, it takes maybe, max 2 minutes to complete. It's centered around our core values, equity, belonging, shared responsibility, and learning. So, it's very simple, but please, it gives us really important data that we need.
Can I access that in Parent Square?
Yep, it's posted. The link is going to go out, so everybody get
Should we
it.
say Parent Square is back, baby? Parent Square is
Hey,
back.
that's my next goal.
Yeah.
So Parent Square is back. And I'd like to publicly say thank you to the central office team, MVS and EHS administrative assistants. So the work that happened, it happened like I was getting updates during the Super Bowl. We had to literally copy and paste information from every student over to the system.
Like a hard reset.
It was unbelievable. Nobody even said, everybody said, sure, what do you need? It was incredible. The team did such a wonderful job. Everybody picked grades. I was just so impressed by the team. It was so great to see. So I just want to publicly thank everybody who contributed to that because it was amazing.
Great.
All right, and the last update that I have is about the assistant principal process at Mountain View. Our screening committee is working hard. It has been just so great to be a part of it. Our student is doing an amazing job. We spent last night interviewing our first set of candidates.
What's the grade level of our student rep on that committee?
5th grade.
That's
That's wonderful.
And
Really
I-
training the team.
I saw the notes. It's unbelievable. So I am so happy about that. And then, so our first set happened yesterday. Our next set is tomorrow night. So they've been, this is 4 nights so far that they've given up in this room.
And they were here early. They were all coming in last night. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody has responded. We're flexible. So we are, we are all in on the process, and at our next meeting, I'll update everybody, as a result of, these interviews and what phase 2 looks like in this process.
Great.
So, yeah, we are
Wonderful work.
doing great work.
Do you still want me to present?
Yes.
Should we do that next?
You are
Sure.
the CKLA presentation.
I'm subbing tonight for my colleague Jody Alatalo, and it's such a joy to be subbing for her. I'm going to do a pale in comparison to what she could give you. That's gonna be
You're
great.
both equally lovely.
I know, she's pretty great. Let's see if I can share my
There we go.
All right, so I'm here to tell you about CKLA. CKLA is our new literacy program for grades pre-K through 5, which is incredibly exciting, and I will tell you more about why that's so exciting. So that you know, we last year piloted the program for just 1 unit, and this year we're in full implementation with the support of DESE and a specific program called the PRISM grant. And PRISM is a long acronym. It has words like reading in it. Okay.
The takeaway is reading, like the takeaway is defibrillator.
It's reading.
That's what you need to know, reading.
Guarantee the PRISM is about reading.
Yeah.
This is our timeline. I know you can't see it well up there, but you can look more in detail later. In July, we were awarded $350,000 from DESE to implement this new curriculum. We have come a long way since then. In January, we just had our second set of observations from the DESE partners that we work with, which is called the New Teacher Project. They are a national program that works specifically around implementing the science of reading in schools all around the country.
And we're focusing on pre-K through 5, correct?
We are, yes. They will support pre-K through 12. We applied for and are implementing pre-K through 5. Yep. If you are looking for an interesting read for your bedside table, TNTP published a white paper called The Opportunity Myth that I highly recommend. If you are skeptical about why we are looking at foundational skills in the science of reading, please read that before you have words about it. But I would love to talk to anyone who is interested in why we're taking this approach in literacy in this district. I'll say the number one word we're taking this approach is equity. And that's what the opportunity myth is all about. What have we not been doing in our previous literacy programs that have really not worked well for students who are already on the margins and vulnerable in our school systems? So that's why CKLA. You'll see up there a few different images. TNTP is our partner through DESE. You see Mountain View School, of course, our wonderful partners with the leaders and the teachers and the students at Mountain View School. Amplify is the producer of the curriculum, CKLA. And then that middle graphic, maybe you're used to now. We've been making you stare at it for a few years now. It's our MTSS graphic that describes our tiered approach to meeting students where they are. In Mountain View, we have that tiered approach to academic, behavioral, and social emotional skills in our students. With CKLA, I'm specifically talking about the academic skills, but I will say that one of the things that we have appreciated about CKLA is the social emotional structures that come with it so that students can approach their literacy instruction with more regulation. I do want to talk more about that collaboration graphic on there, just because one of the things that we're really proud of this year is that we figured out a way and it's really a testament to our coaches and our interventionists, not to me or our leadership, that they found a way in our schedule to find collaboration time. They said, we really value this time to get together as teachers and plan for instruction based on the data that we're gathering in our classrooms, but you need to give us time to do it. And they found time, and we figured out, the leaders at MBS figured out how to do it and said, yeah, since you have brought this to us, like, we can absolutely make this happen. So once every 6 days, the grade levels get together and they are looking at their CKLA data and specifically planning to meet students where they're at in their skill development based on that data. So this whole piece coming together is our implementation plan. It's not just bringing in a curriculum. It's bringing a curriculum with professional development in a school that is welcoming and ready for it, with a tiered instruction model in place and the time for teachers to actually dig into that. You have to have all the pieces. This is what students need from this model. And we're really focusing on, with CKLA, the grade appropriate assignments are incredibly important. Once you encounter a student who has lower reading skills, you'll notice that some of the materials that are available to teach them with are also lower content. It's not that's where the inequity shows itself so deliberately in our instruction. So we really need to make sure that we have the high quality instructional materials that are at grade level to offer to our students. For the students who are not able to access those grade level materials in the classroom, we also need strong instruction. It needs to be data driven. Teachers need to know where their students are, and they need to have, again, the collaboration time to look at that data deeply and understand what's the next step in the curriculum. The curriculum is big. CKLA is a dense curriculum. We've been really attached to the word pruning lately, because the curriculum is intended for a vast variety of students, and we have our students. So we prune where our students don't need the whole curriculum. We know what they need. We can take pieces off that they are not, that they already have the background schema for, and then we can move forward. So the strong instruction is the teacher's professionalism. It's why when we hear people saying, oh, the teachers in Easthampton, they're amazing. This is why they're amazing. It's number two, it's the strong instruction. They also need deep engagement. One of the things about CKLA is that it is centered in the contents of social studies and science. So there's nothing too abstract. Everything gets centered right back into things that students will either experience in their scientific daily life or through the history standards. So it's very much engaging in things that they want to know about and talk about and get excited about. And then the fourth, of course, is our high expectations, where we don't say, just because you're at a lower reading level, you get lower content. We're not doing that. We're going to keep those expectations high. We're going to say, because you are at this grade level and age level, you are developmentally ready for this content. We're going to figure out a way to get you that content at the skill that you need. And that's how we accelerate learning. And we're really excited that this particular program is going to help us do that. These four key resources for what students need are from the Opportunity Myth. Again, it's, just a nice little thing to have on your bedside table.
I just emailed it to everybody so that it's a 68-page document. It's in everybody's inbox.
It's worth every word. This is a long list of why we chose CKLA. I want to tell you, though, that we did go through a half-year pilot for CKLA. We spent half of the year on a different curriculum, and then we spent half of the year on CKLA, and we had pilot teachers at every grade level. And at the end of the CKLA half year, those teachers unanimously decided, this is the program that we want. The reason they decided, so these are the words from our pilot team, this is what we need and this is why we need it. I'm not going to read through them all, but they're all incredibly important components of what a full literacy program looks like. The explicit instruction and foundational skills, I'll tell you, even 10 years ago when I took this job, phonics was a dirty word. We've come a long way, thank goodness, because this is where the equity conversation has really been able to say to our literacy instructors, it's not okay to teach everything in context because some students don't have the background schema for that context. So if
Okay.
you start with the code.
Like I'm an idiot. Can you
sorry.
say that another way?
Yes. Yep, I can. I'm gonna say background knowledge. So here's a good example.
Thank you.
Sorry. If you give a student a passage about tapping maple trees, tapping is a word that we know in many different ways.
Okay.
But I have different schema than you might have about what it means to be tapping a
Right.
tree, right? Like, I can think of
Yeah.
a lot of them.
Yep.
So if you don't have exactly the schema that attaches tapping to maple trees, then that's not gonna make a lot of sense to you. So
So to differentiate instruction, would you still have that, you'd have that lesson, but you would have a precursor where you're
So
offering the
what
context?
you wanna do, nope, we're not gonna get to context until we get the code. So the students have to know the word tapping, and then we're gonna infuse it with context. But if they don't get to tapping, then when we say tapping, it's gonna mean all of these different things, and it's not gonna connect to the sound of the letters and then the many meanings that attach to all of the definitions that go to TAP, right? We call it CVC words, CVC, right? Consonant, vowel, consonant. There's so many of them, and yet they have these 3-letter words have so many meanings.
Right.
And so we're gonna teach the consonant, vowel, consonant rules, then we're gonna infuse meaning.
You don't have to answer this, but I'm just kind of curious. Is CKLA kind of tailored to English specifically? Because I know that it is a uniquely difficult language to learn.
Yes.
So,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, and that's actually what you're seeing here, which you can't really see, but you'll see the OO, right? That double O sound, right? It makes 2 different sounds.
Right.
Soon, foot. Right? So if you don't know that double O can make 2 different sounds, then it's always gonna make the same
and
sound.
shout.
Yeah, right.
Like English is a nightmare. Yeah.
So it really is teaching very explicitly. It's almost, I don't want to say this out loud, but it's almost like teaching math.
Yeah. That makes sense. Like you're building an equation. Yeah.
You really are.
Linda, you
Yeah.
have your hand up.
Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't say this out loud, but
It's just awesome.
I was taught phonics.
Yeah. Say it out loud. Say it louder.
And I am a better reader.
Yeah, you are.
And better than my children were.
Absolutely.
Because I was taught very specifically certain things. So and then I taught for a while, and then I got out before it became this other, thing.
Can you give me
explain to me that whole thing?
What's the 90-second thing of why did we grow to hate phonics?
Oh, yeah.
Give me that one.
Yeah.
Oh, no, because literature is rich and beautiful, and it shouldn't be made dissected down to its letters, because it's just full of color and image, and we can create these movies in our minds from the words that are spoken to us. And
you sweating, Henry?
No,
But if
he's
you
like
can't read
no.
it, you're not making music with
Well,
it.
that's where we've come to, yes, but I think that there was a lot of genuine joy around, if you surround students with the magic of the language and the imagery, they will connect to it, and then they will want to learn.
I think some do, but I don't think the majority do.
So the opportunity myth tells us that works really well for students who have already had access to vocabulary and language in their homes.
Yeah.
And if they haven't, then it doesn't work well.
Okay. Thank you for that. I know that was a little side journey,
I was
but
sitting
really
here going, I know that it went out of favor, but why? And
So it's a great, it will persist. The reading wars will persist.
Right.
Okay. So the knowledge building I talked about. So this is our example of our 5th grade who's currently reading about Don Quixote.
I'm sorry, 5th grade?
Yep. Which is fantastic.
It is fantastic. They can understand it. They can understand it.
And it's so interesting. I just have to tell you this very quick anecdote. I was judging We the People last year, and a student mispronounced the word quixotic. And we brought this curriculum in, and I thought, no one is ever going to mispronounce quixotic again. Because it's a vocab word in the 5th grade now. So it's interesting. It is very
And if you've only ever read
you wouldn't know necessarily how to pronounce the word. You might understand from the context what it means.
There are a lot of words that
I still do that.
I was gonna say, there are a lot of words I come across that I'm like, oh, that's how you spell that?
Yeah.
I never knew.
Yeah. Interesting.
And then, of course, complex text read aloud, so that what the teachers are reading out loud to the students is of a more complex text than what the students are reading themselves at their instructional level. So they're getting both access to that more complex text while they're still able to access their own reading level in their decodable reader. This is second grade Greek myths. And by the way, the second graders already know a lot about Greek myths, so whatever parents are doing to teach about Greek myths before they get to second grade, wow, the students are coming with a lot of background information.
I think they're picking up really quickly at school.
Yeah.
My son is in second grade and we did not teach him about Greek. Like it's not from us. He's picking up really quickly from school.
Okay.
And he's like, he's schooling us.
Great.
In Greek myths. Yeah.
As he should be.
Yeah, as you should be.
As he should be.
We're reading, I'm sorry, I have to just say, we're reading Percy Jackson books out loud to him now because he's like deeply into it.
Yeah.
And he keeps correcting my pronunciation.
Yes.
And I just love it. It's like,
That's exactly
circle.
where we
We're
want
done.
our
This is
students
great.
correcting their
We're on
parents.
the right track.
Yeah, that is the goal, so. The other thing that we're just so excited about with this new curriculum is the daily integrated writing instruction. We felt very strongly that students were not writing enough daily in our elementary literacy program. And now it's not only daily integrated writing instruction, it is also connected to whatever both the skill and the knowledge that they have gained that day. So in CKLA, there's a very specific skill that is your objective for the day and very specific content that is your objective for the day. And then your writing should be a way to synthesize the learning from both of those strands in the curriculum.
Unsurprisingly, I have another question. So does the CKLA program in itself, does that already have kind of that built-in scaffolding for some students that are gonna, or are we devising that? Like, how is that working?
Both. It's both. Yes, it has a lot, it's a dense curriculum, so we have a lot of options, but we have to go through it and see which ones work.
Sure.
So like it's there, but that's the pruning that I was talking about. Like we have to actually figure out what are the pieces to keep for the students that we have and what are the students or what are the pieces that we maybe don't need this year, but like might work for a student we have next year, right? So not all of the pieces of the curriculum are applicable to all students. But then we have to do, and
but we're not asking the staff, for example, to invent things to try to like this programming and this, which I assume is maybe why they were so excited about it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of it's there, and then what's not there, they're working on in that collaboration time.
Yep.
And that's going to be, I mean, this year is our first year of implementation. Sure. Our hope is that next year we get really tight on those interventions and scaffolds for our students who need a little bit more.
Sure.
Yep.
Especially after you get this through the testing this year and kind of see where we fall.
Exactly. No, we're really hopeful. And I can share our benchmark data, but let me just, get through a couple more slides here. They're not
Jody is so grateful not to be here tonight.
Jody would love to be here with you tonight. Please. She is so excited. And I want to emphasize that she is really leading this work.
When she comes next time, I'll take the night off just so she can get through her presentation.
Okay. That's fair. I think we talked about this, so decodable text aligned to the phonics instruction so that students do have something in their hands that they can actively read themselves.
Right.
And then what we've done with TNTP is they've come in and they've done 2 rounds of observations. They've given us feedback on those observations. So what we've learned so far from TNTP is that, first of all, our staff is using CKLA. That means everyone is using CKLA. We're not a district that has like holdouts in that way. Like people want to be part of the team, working together as a team to bring the best instruction to our students. It sounds like a low bar, but I just want you to know it's a really high bar. Okay.
I think we might be joined tonight by somebody who is partially responsible for the excellent leadership that sends the message to staff that we're in this together.
Yes. No, Judy Averill, especially with our preschool, the leadership that she has shown to bring this curriculum into our preschool as well.
Right.
I can't even begin to tell you the delight of going into a pre-K classroom and seeing them do the CKLA curriculum. They are discussing
Which just
with
makes
each other.
everybody's life easier moving forward, like, yes.
Everyone wants this.
Oh.
This is better for everyone. Yes, no, it's what
Great.
Judy's been, bugging me about for years. So yeah, we've gotten here. We're here, and it's really good.
Hold it out, Judy.
That's right. So the positive stakeholder perceptions that like people believe like, yes, for the most part, this is going in the right direction. We still want to get the students a little bit more excited, but again, it's year one, so we're looking for that 50% interest in text to increase.
And maybe you go to school tomorrow with a big CKLA t-shirt, just.
Oh, but it's only pre-K.
But he's there to show support. He's an idol.
Okay, fine.
He's
Yeah.
a celebrity.
We'll get you a CKLA t-shirt.
So I think and one of the other things we're planning to do also is aligning things like Spirit Week and activities to the units and lessons. So I think that's a work in progress.
Read your hearts out.
Read your hearts out.
That's great.
And then, of course, the professional learning access, which is that we've had this really great PD, again, provided through the grant, through DESE, but just really excited that our teachers are so into it and really engaged in the professional learning. And every time we have another PD session, we're learning more. We're all coming like more together on what our true literacy vision is for Easthampton.
I have a question.
I know you do. I can see it in your face.
So the PD, maybe the PD is growing and changing as the programming in our district is growing and changing. But I'm also thinking about us becoming local leaders of offering PD to other districts. So are we feeling like we're starting to build that engine?
In the past 2 weeks, we've been visited by it was East Longmeadow.
East Longmeadow.
Yeah, East Longmeadow.
Shut the front door.
And Gateway. Gateway came to see. Yes. Gateway.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
East Longmeadow came to see middle school math, which is our very strong curriculum program. And Gateway came to see our pre-K CKLA implementation. So yes, the short answer is like, yeah, people want to come.
There's a dearth of excellent PD around here.
Yeah.
And I would love for us to help bring more of that.
No, absolutely. That's definitely a
great.
Like we all want that.
Yeah.
That's definitely a goal for all of us is we want the best PD for our teachers and then we want them to be able to collaborate with other districts because we're just so small that some of our teachers are the only teacher who teaches health in middle school. Right.
Right. And wouldn't you like to talk to someone else?
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
more of that being able to come together across districts will be really great. This was just a lovely email that a parent sent to Jody about sitting at the family dinner table with a bunch of fifth graders and talking about Don Quixote and like, what? Why are my fifth graders all here at a sleepover? Like talking about Don Quixote. And then the second grader jumps in and is like, well, I've been learning about gods and goddesses. And so this parent shared that with Jody as just we don't always get information from our students. Henry and Jess, I know you tell your parents everything, you're amazing. But some students come home and like give very little information to their parents. It's totally wild. So for this parent, it was really wonderful to hear about something that was going on at school in a really positive way.
Who made the choice to do Don Quixote in fifth grade?
That's CKLA. Yeah, that's the curriculum.
Like, have you guys read it?
No, Henry.
It is the themes are so.
Henry is like, it feels like he's missing out. He's in eighth
You know
grade.
what?
It's incredible.
I-
That's incredible.
I watched the Wishbone episode. So
That's enough money. Yeah.
But that's actually one of the cool things is these are like really important cultural.
You have perseverance and self-confidence and like
Quixotic is like literally a word we use all the time.
That is so cool.
It came from a place in literature. It's so interesting.
Right.
I'm fascinated.
And now there's a whole new generation when I say tilting at windmills.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
windmills, exactly.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Exactly.
Great.
So our next steps, I told you about the collaboration time. We want to leverage that more and really get to how we can use that time for the best. Progress monitor our students who are on watch, of course, so that we can get some of our students who are just the cusp of our benchmark over that benchmark. We are hoping to, so this is back to our phonics in our next school year, we'll be using the tool is called Early Bird, and it's a very early semi-diagnostic tool for challenges in early reading, including dyslexia. And so for next year, we want to implement monthly progress monitoring for students in word reading and passage reading in K-5, so that we're really taking that information and following through to make sure that there aren't any flags that come up along the way. And then our WIN block, WIN stands for What I Need. We really want to strengthen the WIN block so that we have the interventionists available to give students what they need at that point of need. The other thing that we haven't quite expanded our WIN block to include is our enrichment. So we've started to be like, oh yeah, here's where we need the intervention. We've got a strong team of interventionists. The next step is how to have the classroom teachers take on some of the enrichment pieces of the WIN block.
Can you give me some specificity on what you mean about the enrichment?
Yeah, so there are some students who may get a lesson of literacy and they need that lesson of literacy again because repetition is really helpful for some students. But some students don't need the repetition, so what do? They need enrichment.
Okay.
So we need to design enrichment for them.
Henry has thoughts.
Yeah, I heard that.
So I'm in 8th grade, and for WIN right now, we just switch between our classes, and basically it's either a free study hall, or it's sort of we learn new things, or we just go over what we learned in class today.
Yeah. So the go over what we learned in class today is the double dose, right? And some kids need that, right? And some kids need the study hall, maybe, right? So with the tiered model, what we say is at tier 1, most kids need something, right? So most kids need, and it might be the study hall, it might be an enrichment, right? But then there are probably 15% who need the double dose.
Yep.
And that's what our interventionists are doing. And then there are some students who need a totally specialized curriculum that's separate, right? And that's our special ed department, which is excellent, right? And so what we're trying to get to with WIN is how to make all of the things happen for the students who need the double dose, who need the specialized, and that those students who, as Henry said, maybe sometimes it's just a study hall, let's let it not be a study hall, let's let it be an enrichment block.
So how are we looking at WIN as we start to further that differentiation between the elementary levels and the middle school levels? Or are we not there? Maybe we're not there yet. Maybe we're still.
So the elementary, we've differentiated literacy and math WIN. And at the middle school, we are only looking at one WIN. And it's probably going to be in our next year's schedule an alternating WIN. So it's much less time in the middle school.
Yep. Because they need time to change classes.
Yeah, there's a lot that you have to do as a middle schooler. Change classes, you have to, in the elementary school, it's all very fluid throughout the day. And in middle school, it's much more segmented.
Right.
So
to prepare them for what will become increasingly segmented as they move through.
Absolutely, yeah. So WIN looks a little different in the middle school, absolutely. It's not as specifically centered towards that intervention that needs to happen, which again is why we're really looking at that enrichment piece for next year, because especially at the middle school level, I think that the students who are ready for enrichment are beyond ready for enrichment.
Could use some more minutes in that school day, I think.
Yep. That's correct. Okay, I think that was, that's the end of this, but I'm gonna get out of this for a second so I can just show you quickly.
You'll be gone by the time we get there, Jess. Don't worry about it.
6.5 hours is good.
Henry's.
He's there's gonna be.
He's what is
Henry worried about the longer school day?
8 to 5.
Monday through Sunday.
5 days a year.
Oh, Henry, I would never. Okay, sorry. Let's look at this. If this shares, maybe. I was just going to show you quickly. Oh, here we go. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So the important thing for you to see on that first graph with the 2 lines is that the bottom line, which is blue, was our beginning of year data in literacy and math, and the red line, which is blissfully above the blue line, is our mid-year data. The 2 places where you see it connect are in 5th grade math. So that's a place where students had already been really high at the beginning of the year. And so we're maintaining that at that level. And then this 8th grade, I don't know, Henry, like your 8th grade class is pretty impressive. So where you see those last 2 pieces there, that is our 8th grade being excellent and continuing to be excellent for both mid-year and beginning of year data. But the important piece is seeing that red line.
Could you email that to me? I could stare at that for an hour. Okay, thank you.
You're so similar, Laura. Okay, so that is the end of my presentation, unless you have more questions.
Anybody?
Yeah,
question.
of course. So right now, CKLA, we're focused pre-K through 5.
Yes.
When we are like fully feeling that's implemented, are we moving up in grades or is it just gonna remain?
Such a great question. So we currently have a curriculum called ELA for 6th grade through 8th grade, which is a high quality instructional material curriculum. And so I don't think, so CKLA doesn't have a 6 to 8 curriculum. It is a pre-K to 5 curriculum.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we have to transition at 6th grade anyway. So I still feel very confident in our ELA curriculum, but that said, we will be having our department in the ELA middle school department do a curriculum review of that curriculum and decide if they want to keep it. So yes, but we will keep CKLA and we will continue looking at our middle school curriculum to see what needs updating.
Oh, I got a question.
Anyone else?
I've got a couple
Sam.
questions. So first, I really appreciate like how much time you've put into this presentation because this has been.
Jody
Jody and you. I think this is we hear about curriculums. Usually they have some kind of acronym, and we never really know what they stand for.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to really kind of see it kind of broken down in a way that's easy to understand. I think, for folks who want more information about the science of reading and don't want to read a 60-page white paper, there's also a really good podcast called Sold a Story. That,
yes, Sold a Story.
So if you need to listen to something on your way to work.
Say that one more time.
It's called
Sold a Story.
Sold a Story.
What is the first word?
Sold. S-O-L-D.
Like it sold the story.
He sold you a story.
Yeah. So I think it's worth just getting into. I think sometimes the way that this, especially on sometimes parents, maybe we are busy and we get too much of our information from little text graphics on Instagram. And I think sometimes the science of reading and phonics is being pitted against this like joy of reading approach.
Yes, that's correct. That is what's happening.
It's really when you actually look at the curriculum, there's a lot of joy.
There's a lot of joy.
Like it's people think about phonics, especially those of us who grew up maybe like in that generation, that kind of last generation to get phonics. And you think about just doing drills in class and a lot of kind
that's
of
not what we're doing.
It's not what it looks like anymore. So I really invite folks to check that out.
Sold a story?
Yes,
Yep.
Sold a Story.
Sold a Story.
So if you want kind of more information about the history of that, it's very accessible and easy to listen to. So that was one thing. So one thing I was wondering about, you mentioned the pruning, and I'm really glad that you brought that up because I do have to say, and I don't want to I don't need to share too much about my child, but I have a kid with some like pretty unique learning needs, and I really like what I'm seeing from the curriculum, but it's like a lot. And I was just talking with his teacher kind of about how they're still sort of working out how to best differentiate this. So I'm really glad to hear that that's such a sort of a big part of what you guys are working on now.
It's what's happening in collaboration time every day.
That's wonderful. So I would just say too, if you're a parent and maybe you're like on the fence a little bit, or you're not really so sure, like communicate with your child's team about that, because that's exactly what they're
Now
working
is when
on
they need the feedback.
right now. Yes, and if you have a kid with kind of more unique learning needs, like your input is actually also really valuable. So please do that. And I just wanted to know if there was a way, anything that you would suggest that parents could do to support this at home or to reinforce kind of what you're all working on. Like what's the, is there anything to suggest?
That's a great question. I mean, the truth is at every grade level, there's a different thing I would suggest.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's actually just a great suggestion for me.
We could shoot those out.
That I want.
Via Parent Square.
Yeah, that maybe we should do some curriculum updates via Parent Square specifically about CKLA.
I have another question that
Yeah.
feeds into that.
Yep.
That I was gonna save, but you opened the door, Sam, so I'm gonna walk through it. What about the idea, is it too early, maybe premature, to start talking about clubs and or extracurriculars that could complement this kind of work? I'm thinking about,
I mean, that's all we're talking
your
about.
basic, and now is the time when we can either be trying to scrounge some grant funding or finding just those small amounts of stipends to try to get those clubs and groups off the ground. Things as simple as book clubs, and I'm sure the fantastic educators we have working would have better ideas than that basic idea, but anything from that, we'd love to,
Yeah, it's actually part of the, am I allowed to say this, part of the caregiver? Yeah, survey.
Okay.
I'm like, am I allowed to say this, because I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now, is asking for some suggestions from parents about what is it you wanna learn more about that's happening in our schools. So like,
And
curriculum night.
when, during the day, could you accommodate your child attending something like that? I think that is a big tricky thing in a working class community of figuring out
how to get
when parents can
when
come.
parents are
yeah.
able
when
to
parents
do
can
that.
get kids
Yeah.
there, or if kids are staying
Yeah.
after school, how those kids can get home. So I want to
That's been a big issue, yeah, for sure.
anyway.
And I guess just one more thing is just again with the science and social studies kind of subject. I think that is so cool that that's like the main focus of this, because I remember
We do too.
you mentioned like starting 10 years ago, I remember 15 years ago when my wife first started teaching, and like she had very little time to do science and social studies. It all got kind of eaten up by ELA.
100%.
And then you get to the end of the year and you're like, well, I haven't really done
That's
much in
right.
science.
Yeah.
So that has really changed in public school in general in the last 15 years. And it's good to see like that we've kind of figured out that like you can use those subjects to actually get
Take your
students
literacy and
excited.
math and use the content
Yeah.
to drive it as
Like,
your science and social
It's
studies.
a much more like inquiry-based,
Yeah.
hands-on, like it's all
Sure.
the stuff that parents are saying that they want more of. And it is actually happening, so that's super cool. So glad to see it.
Thank you so much. I just realized this is the first time I'm presenting in front of the new school committee. Congratulations to those of you who are new.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bonnie.
Yeah, I guess it's Bonnie. Congratulations, Bonnie.
Bonnie is the same, quieter and much more respectful of your time, but Jill's the same, yes.
Julianne, can you just talk really quickly about this data set and like are we measuring the same thing so we took it at the beginning of the year?
Right, yes, she's prompting me because we talked about this earlier. So the important thing to know about our benchmarks is that they change during the year. So where we measure our beginning of the year benchmark, the blue line that's up there, that's a different measurement than the red line, because we do expect a half year of growth from the blue line to the red line. So the red line is not just representing growth from the blue line, it's growth from the blue line in addition to the half year of growth we would expect any student to make after a half year of schooling.
That's great.
Yeah.
So slightly off topic, we're talking about really increasing enrollment in 8th grade algebra next year.
Well, this year we did it. We have 2 classes this year.
Cause I'm looking at
Oh, good.
the 7th
Yeah, they're doing great.
Okay.
Remember
Yeah.
Henry plugged it in, he said, I want all my friends to have it.
Yes.
We're on the path.
Were it not for you, Mr. Levine.
Remember you
Look at
have
the
read
impact
us
you've
in
had on this
ways.
world.
I am willing to
Sure
take
is
on the
already.
challenge from the students.
And now
They want to
that
challenge me
you're-
to everyone taking 8th grade algebra.
So what's our percentage enrollment for the current 8th grade cohort in algebra? Do we know?
So there are 2 classrooms of algebra and 3 classrooms of 8th grade math right now.
How many kids we have in those algebra classrooms?
18 or, I mean, they're all between like 18 and 20.
And we historically have been having one
Just
smaller
one.
class.
Yep, 16 to 18 usually. This year we have 2 full classes.
Okay.
So
And
you
we
have
will
around
increase.
40 kids.
Yep, 40 kids will
And
be.
so what leads the decision about whether or not we can have more of those classes next year? Like, what are we gonna base that decision off of?
I mean, as we did this year, we looked at the 7th grade MCAS scores and sort of saw where there was a cutoff, a natural cutoff. But I think at this point, what we're more looking for is how do you differentiate algebra so that students who aren't at that cutoff score can still access the material.
Right.
And so right now, it's just that we have an 8th grade that is exceptional, and Henry is part of that and wants to ask a question.
I think what I did is, and my teacher, Miss Reed, said this we had like this end of year like test about like everything we went over.
Yep.
And like that's like how it decided.
That's right. Yeah. So we do have a teacher created tool that helps us, see where the students' skills are. But what we're trying to do now is go beyond that and say like, so even if they don't perform necessarily on this assessment, is their conceptual thinking about math sophisticated enough to understand the algebra concepts? And that's a different question than whether you can perform well on a test.
I would also love to take this opportunity to plug the option for having like a summer program for 7th graders going into 8th where they could try to do some of that skill showing and skill building to that 8th grade.
I love that Dr. Balch is writing that down. Thank you.
Everything costs money, but
Long school day, longer school year.
But she wrote it down.
I think our philosophical approach to that is also about, we know that when students have access to honors and AP courses, just in being in the classroom and having exposure to that increases their likelihood of graduation. So we want to replicate that research, and it's proven that replicate that in our middle school.
I agree.
In the middle school experience.
I would love all of our students to be taking higher level classes, even if it means the GPAs are lower, if what they are accessing at a baseline is a higher level of thought, a higher level of engagement.
I don't think the GPAs will be lower. I mean, that's not the
I don't care
research
if they are.
I know.
I think my point is like,
I
what are we
understand.
teaching, What are we teaching?
But I think what the research that we see is when you expose students to higher expectations, they do tend to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, sure.
So we don't actually see a dip usually.
And one teacher teaching the algebra?
No, it's all
Is
Miss
it, or is
Poulin.
the one person is teaching?
It's currently one, but we will have two trained who could potentially.
Good question. Anyone else? I took this very far afield, as is my want.
Yeah, no.
Share.
I mean, this is our daily conversations are about acceleration.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's so exciting. Julianne, you're fantastic. Jody Alatola.
Jody is
all the
amazing.
ups, but also let's take a moment for
Take the
Julianne Levin,
compliment.
who is herself incredible. We're just so fortunate. These people in this district, an embarrassment of riches.
Well, I'm grateful that you all were elected again to be here, and I'm grateful for our superintendent. That is why the rest of us are all here. So thank you to you all.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yay, Julianne. Thank you, Julianne.
I'm sweaty in a good way, Michelle. What do we have next? Do you want to explain for me? I still struggle with what this is. Our next little task.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, there is an enrollment cap on students participating in virtual schools. So across the Commonwealth, it cannot exceed 2%.
This is not homeschool. This is this very specific
Virtual school
definition. Okay.
enrollment cannot exceed 2% of the total amount of students enrolled in public education. 2% cannot exceed. So
Every year, the department sends a list to the districts, because you have to vote if you want to exceed the 1% cap. So there's a cap.
1% is the default?
Yep, 1%, and we are at 1.04. So we have 14 students enrolled in virtual school. So we are required to take a vote to extend the cap to the maximum amount of 2%, but we are currently at 1.04. So we are required to take a vote to increase the cap.
Okay. You may remember, guys, we did this last year around the same time.
I remember this.
I had Maureen give me the same explanation. Clearly, I didn't retain it very well. So
Sorry.
maybe next year. All right. I will entertain a motion to increase the total enrollment cap for Easthampton students to attend Commonwealth virtual schools from 1% to 2% for the remainder of the 2025 to 2026 school year and the 2026 to 2027 school year.
So moved.
Thank you, Eric. Beautifully executed. That's great. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sam. All those, any questions or discussion?
Quick question. Of course, I always have a question. So the process for that is like a parent would get in touch with the superintendent and say like, this is what we're hoping to do for it, sort of like the homeschool process.
They're free to enroll their children into like the TECA or Greenfield community virtual.
They don't have to have you approve.
Unless we get to a part where we exceed 2% and then we're in trouble, right? We gotta cut it off there. Because I thought 2% is the cap.
Yes, we're not gonna hit the 2%.
Okay. All right.
We're
Knock
at
on wood.
1.0.
Henry has a question.
Henry, I see you, Henry. What is it?
So like virtual schools, like what do you mean? It's not homeschooling?
It's completely online. They're doing all of their courses online.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
there are schools in the Commonwealth that are designed to do that.
So it's like Zoom?
You have to enroll in that school though.
Okay.
So you'd have to leave MVS, which you do not want to do.
You'd have to
And then-
surrender your admission to Easthampton High School that you just told us.
And then enroll in TECA or the,
And some families.
it's a choice for some
Yeah.
families, for sure.
So it's my understanding that these are Commonwealth schools, the virtual school, whereas a homeschool situation is not necessarily a Commonwealth school.
No, the virtual schools are all online, whereas homeschool tends to just be.
But no, well, that's what I'm
curricula.
saying.
Yeah.
Though, that the virtual school is something that is within our
They're monitoring
Commonwealth,
attendance,
and
they're taking-
and
yes.
exactly, so it's totally virtual, so it's just going to a school virtually that is one that is within our Commonwealth public school, whereas a homeschool is a curriculum that different parents determine, based on so that's the differences. Okay.
Yeah.
Sam.
Just to clarify for the public, they are their own school districts.
Right.
And similar to charter schools. In fact, it's kind of the same, it's a similar setup, except that we have a cap, we have a cap on the number of students.
We don't,
Well,
the state.
The state does, yeah. So, so basically you can enroll in one of these schools and they're commonly used, not exclusively, but commonly used by families where a student might have a really serious medical condition and they're in and out of the hospital a lot, so it's easier. Or they might be homebound for whatever reason.
Mobility,
And they'd rather do this than the in-home tutoring, so, or sometimes kids who do athletics or theater, and they're traveling around a lot, and they choose to do it this way instead. So it's an interesting mix of, when you actually look at who's doing it, it's like kind of an interesting demographic mix of students who do it. But yeah, you can just enroll if you want to.
This has nothing to do with the vote, but are these considered like choice outs? Like we lose the funding for
We
them?
pay tuition to them.
Okay,
yeah.
just, that has nothing to do with the vote.
It is the lowest possible choice out tuition.
Dollar amount.
Yeah,
Got it.
it's something like, it's like $10,000.
Since we're discussing this, I guess this is a good time then. So different than when they attend the virtual school, that curriculum that's there, they can do that. Whereas people at homeschool have to bring that before you, correct, Michelle?
Yep, they have to present a homeschool plan.
And bring,
which we
and their
approve.
plan and everything like that, so, okay.
Right, because there isn't like necessarily this third-party oversight,
Right,
taking
right.
attendance,
So where
monitoring
the virtual
curriculum and
has
assessments.
that.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we have a vote on the table. Do we have any other comments, questions, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Julia, sorry, Franks. I was over here spending money left, right, and center, all meetings.
Starting new programs.
Bring us back to reality.
Time for the womp womp.
Good evening, everybody. In your business packet for this week, there are a number of materials. So first thing is the local appropriation report. So according to data as of January 31st of 2026, 50% of the local appropriation has been spent or encumbered. Right, the second item on the report has to do with graduated class funds. In your packet, there is a memo that has a more extensive explanation of the situation that is happening. So as part of my onboarding, I took a look at sort of our student activity accounts, graduated class funds, met with Bill and Lisa at the high school, and we identified that there are several graduated classes that still have funds on deposit with the student activity account. And so that includes the graduated class of 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2022. Per school committee policy, Graduated class have 2 years from their date of graduation to determine what to do with those funds. And then after that date, according to policy, school committee votes to declare those funds sort of abandoned, for lack of a better term, and then can vote to appropriate those funds within the student activity account. Okay, so I worked with Bill and Lisa to reach out to those class officers to make sure that they were aware of the status of those funds. And then based on either responses or non-responses, we have sort of 2 different sets of actions that I'm requesting that the school committee consider at this moment. So the first group are the classes that did not respond. So that's 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2022. They have funds on deposit in the student activity account totaling $11,679.95. And so the suggested motion that I am providing to the committee is to declare those funds as forfeited by the graduating classes, and the transfer of these funds to the student's agency account to be allocated at a future date. So what I would do is work with Bill and Lisa to come up with a plan, and that they will bring that plan to you, and you will then vote how they want to distribute those funds amongst the current student activity groups. Okay. The second one is for the class of 2017. They have requested access to those funds. In the packet, I've provided a statement to you from Diamond Smith, who is the class of 2017 president, right? They have asked to be able to donate those funds to a charity. And that can either be done by us giving the money to the class of 2017 officers, right, through a process that's outlined in our student activity account policy, or them authorizing the student activity to make the donation in the name of the class of 2017.
I remember Diamond.
Yeah, me too.
So the second one, so there's a little bit of an order of operations. I'm basically asking you to enact the policy, right, to declare the funds forfeited for the classes that did not respond. And then I'm asking you to suspend the policy to allow the class of 2018 time to make arrangements to dispose of their funds.
Class of 2017.
I have a question about the 2017 one.
Yes.
So what is the least complicated path? I've read Diamond's letter. We want to honor their wishes. So what is the least complicated way to get that cash to them? Because I see that you're suggesting we cut a check to the class. Talk me through how that's going to work.
So the least impactful way to do it is if Diamond authorizes the student activity treasurer, right, or the advisor, right, to make a donation in the class's name.
Perfect.
So then we cut a check either through the accounts payable process or using the student activity fund checkbook directly to the
2 organizations she's named.
Right, to the organization that
the
she's named.
Caregiver Action Network and the Bridge Over Troubled Waters, which is a fantastic organization.
Right.
I know the Bridge Over Troubled
Or then if the other option is that the class of 2017 has to get an EIN number, they have to get a
I
W-9,
just
they have
don't
to set up
want
a bank account. Right, so the first step in that process, though, is you as a committee agreeing to suspend the policy for that class to then give them time, right? Because according to our school committee policy, they don't have that option.
Right.
Also, as an aside, could I get Diamond's email address after the meeting, please? I'd like to reach out to her. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? Can I just read Diamond's letter? Is that okay? I just think everybody should. Anyways, I'm just gonna read this really quickly. January 2026. As the class of 2017 president, I am submitting my perspective regarding the remaining senior class funds. After thoughtful consideration, I believe the most meaningful and appropriate use of these resources is to donate them to an organization that supports young people navigating significant life challenges, particularly those who may feel unseen or unsupported during their adolescent years. My time in high school was marked by circumstances that required early maturity and sustained resilience. Those experiences made clear how essential it is for young people facing hardship to receive consistent support and understanding. Allocating the remaining class funds toward organizations that serve youth in similar situations reflects the values of both care and community that I hoped to uphold as a student leader. For this reason, I request that the remaining class of 2017 funds be donated to a charitable organization that provides direct assistance to youth who are caregivers or navigating difficult transitions. I believe this use aligns with the spirit of service and empathy that I committed to representing as class president. If the committee votes to permit the distribution of the class of 2017 funds, I respectfully recommend that they be donated to one of the following organizations whose missions align with supporting young people navigating significant responsibility and transition: the Caregiver Action Network and the Bridge Over Troubled Waters. I offer these recommendations only and fully respect the committee's discretion in determining the final allocation. I believe donating the funds honors the spirit of the class of 2017 by allowing them to support young people during formative transitions, which reflects the values of responsibility and care that education aims to foster. For context, at the time of graduation, I looked to access and appropriately allocate these funds, but lacked sufficient institutional guidance to do so effectively. My intent now is ethical stewardship, and I respect the committee's final determination.
You're a super cool person.
Just hats off to Diamond. What an incredible young person, and so articulate and thoughtful, and a real shining example of what we could all be to be better humans. So that would be the recommendation. Does anybody, I know, I knew you would. I'm a little
fine.
bit too.
Everything's fine.
I'll cry later.
I'm fine.
All right. I'm gonna go back to my recommended language here. We're gonna start with our bucket from the first. That's 2018, 19, 20, and 22. So I will entertain a motion to declare funds totaling $11,679.95 as forfeited by the graduated classes of 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2022, and the transfer of these funds to the EHS Student Activity Agency account to be allocated at a future date.
So moved.
Thank you, Sam. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Linda. Any question, comments, discussion about this first vote? No. Okay, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? You don't have to abstain. You did a great job. I'm sorry. Motion carries. So our second motion, I will entertain a motion to suspend school committee policy JJF, the student activity accounts, so that a check can be issued to the class of 2017 or a donation made to a charity in the name of the class of 2017.
So moved.
Thank you, Sam. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Linda. Any further question, comment, or discussion about this item? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So I will personally, I'll get in touch we'll make sure we get this where it needs to go.
So Michelle and I have also looked at some sample guidance, right,
Okay.
about sort of the meeting and documentation that should be presented to class officers
Yeah.
in the spring.
Moving
leading
forward.
up to.
Yep.
And then to make sure that classes understand and know what they're
The
doing.
options available to them
Yes.
in the process to follow.
Yep, so
Great.
we'll be working on that for
Great.
Our current class of 2026.
That's great.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much. And we want to say Julia's really been digging through a mountain of things we have not dealt with effectively in this district in many, many years. And one by one, just knocking them off the checklist.
Yep.
Really excellent work.
Right, last item on the agenda is the personnel report for the month of January of 2026. Right, we have several new hires joining the district, including substitute teachers. We have one separation of a school nurse position and no transfers for the month of January. At the end of January, there were 2 vacancies, a para-educator position at EHS and the nurse position at MVS. We have had the nurse hire and start during the month of February, and I did see a name come through for that appointment for that EHS para-educator position. So, right, within a few, unless anything else happens, I expect at the February's report there will be no vacancies.
I mean,
I have a question.
yes, Linda.
Seeing 2 recent high school graduates that hired as substitute teachers, I wondered what our qualifications are for substitutes.
When I first served, you had to have a bachelor's. What's the current?
Yeah, I was in shock, I have to say.
What's the current? Well, I think a bachelor's is too high for.
No, I was just.
What's our current minimum requirement for substitute teachers?
Corey, sorry.
Okay.
Fingerprints.
Okay. So there's no minimum educational requirement aside from a high school diploma or equivalent?
For day-to-day subs, no. But we are, we're working in, that's a work in progress.
It was a bachelor's, boys, but I knew and did. Yeah.
We have a couple of people that have dropped off their applications who are currently in school right now who have some time, so we're excited about those. So some in-service work, and hopefully, they get excited to stay.
Yeah, that's great. What do you mean they're currently in
In,
school?
in college, sorry.
Oh.
I thought you meant in
I'm picturing Henry, like leaving algebra, going across the hall and teaching history or something. I was
currently, like,
confused.
at
Okay, I hear you. I hear you.
Smith.
That makes way more sense. That makes way more sense. Okay. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Julia. And we're going to talk about it briefly, but you also led us effortlessly through our first budget meeting.
So true.
Squee. All right. School committee discussion. Do you want to take it away? Finance chair?
Yeah, so we had our first, well.
And we'll get to policy in a second.
We had our first of like our budget, fiscal year 27 proposed budget specific meetings yesterday afternoon. We have a few more coming up. I probably could open up to see what those
Oh, I can tell. If you dig, I'll get
Okay, great. And so the minutes have been typed up. I have not yet submitted them. These are hybrid meetings, so they occur in person in the room behind us. And they are also on Google Meet, and there's a recording that is taken so folks can catch up on all of the great discussion. Julia led us through a really great discussion of kind of different approaches to making the budget, like a level funding, a level services, and then a needs-based approach to budgeting. And so we were able to talk about a lot of our priorities and goals as a district and what our admin and leadership are keeping in mind as they build this budget.
So the dates?
The dates are?
Just want to make sure I have the right one. Okay, so our next will be next week, Tuesday, February 17th. We're not doing it on Monday because it's President's Day. 4 p.m., Tuesday, February 17th, in the rear second floor conference room. The following week, Monday, March 2nd, at 3:30 in the same room. And then the third and final meeting before the budget hearing will be Monday, March 9th at 3:30. And then 2 weeks after that, we jump to March 24th, which will be a very brief regular session school committee meeting that will then move into our public hearing, which is our annual budget hearing, where we unveil the whole thing, have a discussion, and a vote.
And as we've said, please reach out. Please feel free to come to the meetings.
Now's the time.
To email, to watch it afterwards and let us know what you think about something. Please reach out. The other thing I wanted to mention is that for the first time in my tenure on school committee, our mayor was also present at the meeting.
That's true.
And it was incredibly helpful. It really feels like a great collaborative start to building the budget.
Behaved like an engaged and excited collaborator and partner.
It was great.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Very encouraged.
So that's all I got for you.
That's a lot. We're policy.
So policy, we are meeting on February 25th, and we're going to be finishing up the middle school CTE policy, which we got a little bit of feedback on from the state. And then we'll be bringing that back here.
We should be moving into the policy project that we discussed and voted on last time. My real job, no shade to this job, but I have another job, has been very busy, but I would expect to have that draft contract this week and probably execute it by next week, because I'm going to get it in, talk with Julia and Michelle before we sign, and we're going to try to chunk it up as year 1, year 2. So we're just going to take one contract for year 1, I think.
All right.
Okay. CES.
We are meeting on Monday, the Monday after break.
Okay. Is that going to be the first one where do you and Linda have a plan yet?
We haven't had a chance to talk yet.
Okay.
And they're still working on onboarding the new.
That's right.
Executive director. So
it's been some fun press around that whole.
Talk and figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. Not our circus, not our monkeys. All right.
Has that been worked out? The director that you spoke about last time?
They have not finalized the contract.
Yeah, we're working on the contract.
So no. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Bonnie, we will chat because you will become an observer to the other committee that we discussed. That will probably be by the end of the month. By the end of the month is what I have been told.
Oh, good.
Well, we'll see. All right, our next meeting dates. We'll have a regular session meeting here on March 10th. That will be our big meaty meeting, and then there will be a very brief regular session on March 24th, as we said, and then we'll head directly into the public hearing, and then we'll be back at it again for 2 meetings in April 14th and 28th. At this time, we are going to move into executive session, so we'll be moving into the back room to discuss some issues around collective bargaining. We will adjourn from executive session, so you will not see us again this evening. I will entertain a motion to move into executive session per Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, 21A, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining.
So moved.
Thank you, Sam. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. We are gonna roll call vote for executive session. Bonnie? Have a great week. Oh, okay, so this one's an up or down. I'm so sorry. This is a yay or a nay.
Oh, a yay that we're
Bonnie?
going. I didn't know what we were doing either.
Bonnie, Megan?
Megan, yay.
Eric? Linda?
Yay.
Sam?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be moving into executive session. Good night, everybody, and thank you.
Okay.